So, today I want to talk about something that is very important to me, and that is, do I feel like I am living up to my brother's expectations? Um, 3 years ago, he passed away at the age of 12, and since then, I have been lost. I don't really know what I want to do with my life at this point. I've I've picked up different different interests, different goals, different aspirations. Um, I've worked different jobs trying to see just what my calling is. And, I don't want to be mediocre because he wasn't going to be mediocre. I basically was the one to do everything for him. I took him to school, picked him up from after school, got him breakfast, get him food if he ever asked for it, all out of my pocket. And, when I didn't have money, it was because I spent my money, apparently, is what I was told. Parents weren't really the greatest in terms of arguing in front of us growing up, um, terms of blaming us for certain issues. But I did my best to put that on me and be the bearer of misfortune in a sense. If anything was to be said, it was to be said in front of me, not in front of him. And he had epilepsy, so a lot of a lot of things weren't said to him that should have been, just because, the emotional response could put him into one of his episodes. So I I took the heat of things. I put it on my shoulders as the older brother does, as the older sibling does. And, I kept that side of our parents out of his sight because no kid should have to see that. No kid should have to grow up and see that. My mom and I, we both argued all the time. And, you know, I I feel like I did my best trying to be the best that I could be. And, you know, hindsight being 2020 isn't always the case. You always look back. You always ask yourself, did I do this right? Did I do that right? What should I have said? What should I have done? Was there any signs that day? How did how would you know that was going to be the last day? How should I have known that was going to be the last day? I We both got up, we got ready, drove him to Burger King, got him his breakfast that he always got, which was the sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich. And then I drove him to school while he ate it in the back seat of my car. He got out, said, "I'll see you at 6 tonight." Wait, no. Dad might pick me up today, so I'll see you when you get home. And, didn't think nothing of it. Told him I'd see him when I get home and that I loved him. He said he loved me too. And then just a couple hours later, he was gone. This question was put on my mind recently because I had a falling out with somebody. And one of their last messages to me was, and I just know your brother is so proud of you and the asshole that you are. And, I didn't give that person the reaction they were looking for, but it hurt. It hurt in the sense that this was already an insecurity of mine that I was having. I was already feeling like I wasn't somebody he'd be proud of. I wasn't carrying on the ideals that he had with me. Although he and I are two very different people. He he was just naturally funny. Anything he could do anything and it would just be the most hilarious thing in the world. I feel like I have to try extra hard just to make people laugh when I want to. And you know what? That's just how it was. He was way smarter than me when I was his age. And it's crazy the things that I learned from a 12-year-old. I never learned about tornadoes having different classifications, different levels of a tornado, like a hurricane. And I learned that from him that there were different classifications of tornadoes. I always thought tornadoes were tornadoes. There wasn't no, oh, bad tornado. I thought a tornado touching down was a tornado touching down. He always had a random fact to throw in somewhere. Don't know how he knew it, but he knew it. And that was just the most amazing thing. The fact that he knew so much. The fact that he was so sure in everything he said. He told us when he turns 13, he's not having seizures anymore. And sure enough, 1 month before his 13th birthday, that's when he passed away. He told my mom, don't look to him for having grandchildren, that he wasn't going to have any kids. He went to a small Christian school, and it was a private school, and one of his pictures was the stairway to heaven. So, some people just know. They know what they're destined for. They know what they're going to do. They have their life set for them. They're so confident in themselves. They're so confident in what they say that looking back, he was right about everything he said in a really messed up way. Leading this back into the self doubts. I didn't I didn't take the time to properly grieve him. I took 1 week off work. I took 1 week off of work to grieve him. And basically I just laid in bed all day. Didn't do anything. And I had to go back to work. I am the type of person to where if I just push it to the back of my head, it doesn't exist anymore. Back of my mind, it doesn't exist anymore. Problem goes away. But this problem didn't go away because the fact that I could wake up every day and, not continue my routine with him, not have the main part that my life became centered around anymore. It it got to me. I picked up a second job, started hitting the gym fairly frequently. I'm talking 6 days out the week, just so I could always have something going on in my life to where I wasn't left alone with my thoughts. I I'm sure that, you know, if you were looking down at me, he'd be he'd be upset. Mostly probably laughing at me for the tears. Probably trying to talk my ear off about something. Some random subject. I remember he was he'd probably talk to me about the Mario movie because that's what we watched. That Sunday before he passed away, we went to the movies and watched the Mario movie when it came out. And then 3 days later, he passed away. And, there's no doubt in my mind that my brother loved me. I have no doubt about that. I just have the doubts that I'm not doing his memory justice in what I'm doing. I'm not I'm not doing anything with my life. And I've always told myself that I want to do content creating and I want to make videos that he'd watch. And I go and I get the motivation to do something, and I just can't do it because it wasn't supposed to be me. It's supposed to be him. This was all supposed to be him. He should still be here. He should be guiding me, keeping me on my schedule that I was on every day with him, and just being the annoying little brother that he was, that I loved. But he's not. And I still haven't come to terms with that realization. I have so many regrets, and I just wish I had done more. nice. Um, that's gonna be my little my little rant today. I'm sorry for getting emotional on you guys. To anyone watching, I think this is where I lock in and I start to do better. Not just for me, not just for myself, but for him. His memories are only worth as much as I can put value to them, and they are priceless. I miss you every day, and I love you so, so much.